What's going on, everyone? This is Vantapalo and I am back with another movie review. And today's movie review will be on the 1987 reboot of the Predator movie. Predator, directed by Shane Black, is starring Olivia Munn, Sterling K. Brown, and Keegan-Michael. This new Predator movie is a sequel to the previous 3 Predator movies, and it takes place in today's time where a young boy accidentally triggers the most dangerous hunters known to the planet Earth and to man alone. And it takes a ragtag bunch of ex-cons, criminals, and armored marine soldiers, and a disgruntled science teacher played by Olivia Munn to help the human race and save the human race. Also, before I go any deeper into this movie review, I'm going to tell you now, if you haven't seen the movie, then click out of this, see the movie, and then come back, because I am going to spoil the hell out of this movie. But with that being said, let's go on to the pros of this movie. First pro of this movie is that the Predator actually looked pretty dope. And what I mean by that is that one of my biggest concerns about this new Predator reboot is that I wasn't so sure how the Predator was going to look. And when I saw the trailers and the sneak peeks, I kind of got a good, we all got a good vision of him, and I thought it looked good, but as he was moving and standing and doing all this action stuff, I thought it looked pretty good, and it wasn't terrible. I actually really did like the makeup of it. I don't know if it was CGI or practical, but I'll give kudos to Shane Black and the cast and crew of the Predator to make the actual Predator monster look really cool and really realistic. And unfortunately, the last pro I have about this movie is Sterling K. Brown's performance. It's nothing against Sterling K. Brown's acting, but it just, to me, every time he is in something, whether it be something small like the Marshall movie or something that's huge as the Black Panther movie, he could just act. Like, I don't know where they found him, and I never seen This Is Us, so I never kind of got that experience, but Sterling K. Brown is just a fantastic actor, and he did a fantastic job as the villain of this movie, and not other than the Predator, but as like the human villain of this movie. Now on to the cons of this movie. First con, and possibly the biggest con for me in this movie, is that the Predator versus Predator fight was really anticlimactic. Like, it's so crazy because they previewed this in the trailers, like, oh, we have this one huge predator that we can't take and that we can't fight, and then there's a bigger predator, and it was like, it was gonna be, in my mind, I thought it was gonna be this awesome thing where it's just like, you're gonna get a predator v predator fight, you're gonna go through buildings and all that, and it just ends up with the bigger hunter predator just like stomping on the smaller original predator and just taking his spine out. As easy as that. Like, that was the cheapest thing I ever seen. I was really mad because, like, when I saw the preview of that kind of fight, I was just like, oh man, we're about to get something huge, we're about to get something big, and then it's just like, oh, it's just interrogation and him taking his head off and spine out. Okay, whatever. So mad. The second con of this movie is that I didn't really care for a lot of the main characters. Crazy about that is when I was going through my notes and the pros and the cons of this movie, I put that down twice, but in different ways, so you could tell that I just didn't really care for these characters, and I didn't really care for what they were doing. I mean, like, it was kind of too obvious, and it was kind of just cut and paste from the old Predator movies, but like, they were all just kind of like copy and paste off of the old Predator movies, and that's fine, you can do that, but I mean, some of them just didn't have really any substance, and I knew they were all kind of like one thing that was crazy is that you could almost tell who was going to die in what order by how many lines and how important they felt to me. Like, the first guy to die was, I don't even remember his name, but the first guy to die was a long-haired, I think, Hispanic man, and I just didn't care about him at all. Like, I didn't care about his story or anything, and like, they all kind of died in subsequential order, which is crazy to me. And the last con of this movie is that I honestly got bored through the final Predator fight. When they started on that spaceship that the big hunter predator was going to blow up, and somehow Sterling K. Brown got the main character's son, Quinn McKenna, and Rory McKenna's son, to somehow that's another thing that annoyed me. Somehow this little kid knows space alien technology. I may have not been paying attention that closely, but he just knew how to work that whole ship, dude. using basically what he thought was a toy, but whatever. And Quinn McKenna goes and becomes invisible like the Predator, and like he gets and saves his son, and then the big Predator shows up, and all this other stuff happens, and I didn't care so much to the point where I was stretching and yawning and just waiting for this to end. Like, oh my god, it got so boring, honestly, and like it drug out through like so many scenes, and like I just needed it to end, and when it finally ended, I was so happy to get back out there aside. I just, oh goodness. So those are my pros and cons of the Predator movie, and out of a score of 10, I'm gonna give this movie like a 6.2. Like it wasn't terrible, but it wasn't great. Like, and I think 6.2 is what I'm going to give, because I mean there were some good parts, like the Sterling K. Brown acting and the Predator makeup and the Predator costume, and then it just kind of failed the rest of the way, and I was like it was almost a disappointing film for me, honestly. But that's what I thought about the new Predator movie, but I would love to know what you thought of it in the comment section down below. If you want to watch my last movie review, then click right here. If you want to subscribe to my channel, then click right here. Also follow me at TheVanceWallace for more updates. Like, comment, and share, and I will see you next time.